Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. Now, the Trinity Cathedral is celebrating its 200th anniversary, and we're going to be talking about the history of the cathedral, its significance, and of course, how you can donate to restoring the cathedral. And so joining us this morning is the Dean and Rector at the Holy Trinity Cathedral, the Very Reverend Dr. Shelley Antenia, and Chairperson of the Anniversary Committee, Dr. Phaedra Pear. Ladies, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Viewers, good to be here. Thanks for having us.
Now, the Holy Trinity Cathedral celebrates its 200th anniversary. Is it in May? As I understanding, it's coming up in May.
So correct. The anniversary date is May the 25th.
Right.
We will be having the celebrations on the first weekend of June, which is June 4th. Which is Trinity Sunday,
Right.
because it would have been consecrated on May 25th, 1823, which was a Trinity Sunday. So we're doing Trinity Sunday to Trinity Sunday.
Yes, 200 years.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about the history of the cathedral.
Sure. So actually, the cathedral started off as Holy Trinity Church. It was the first and only Anglican church on this island for many years in 1801. In 1808, it was razed by fire in the Great Fire of Port of Spain. And then in 1816, a cornerstone was laid on its current location, and that ground consecrated, and then the building began. And it took the 5 years for the building to be completed. And so on May 25th, 1823, the completed building was consecrated on Trinity Sunday. And that's
Now,
how
that's
we've
over
been there.
200 years ago. Has there been any sorts of restoration work taking place since then? I imagine there would be?
I think there were two significant periods where there was restoration work done. There was some addition done in the early 80s, and then another restoration that happened somewhere in the early 1990s, and then just maintenance happening over time.
Right.
Yeah.
And then what are we seeking now in 2023?
It needs a complete restoration, actually. The building itself is more than 200 years old. And so we have termite infestation, we have significant water ingress. Because of the earthquake in 2018, all of our pinnacles had to be taken down. So those are all down. The spire from the steeple had to be taken down. So there's lots to be restored. Our stained glass windows, which are phenomenal, all need to be restored. So there's a lot of restoration and rehabilitation work. Lots of cracks, structural cracks. Again, because of the several earthquakes. So the 2018 earthquake was the worst, but that was preceded by several earthquakes, 2016 and then several before that. So the impact has been cumulative, and so now she needs to be restored.
I love how you said she.
Yes.
She needs to be restored.
That's correct.
Well, she's the mother church.
Yes.
We call the cathedral the mother church
Yeah.
because that's where all of the churches in Trinidad came out of.
Yeah.
As Reverend Tina said, it was the first church that was established in the island, and so everybody else is our children. Whenever I go out to parishes, I tell them, you all have to come home to Mama and help Mama.
Yes,
you
of
know,
course.
now that Mama needs some help, you all have to help and support.
I love the analogy, Dr. P, and I'm glad that you came in because I want to talk about the celebration that we're having. Tell us about it.
So, as we mentioned, it's 200 years.
Yeah.
Actually, it's really more than 200 years, but we will take the 200 for where it is right now,
Yes.
the site where it is. And we have started the celebrations since last year on May the 25th. So since that was the original consecration date, we've used every month on the 25th as a precursor, we call them glimpses of the cathedral. So we've had different individuals do 5-minute to 10-minute reflections on their time at the cathedral. And we've had those older seniors who, go back many years and can tell the most wonderful stories. And we have some younger ones who are now coming into the fold and their stories as well. So every 25th of the month, we release on our social media platforms glimpses of the cathedral. The next thing that we did was we launched a national blood drive. So we're 200 years, we would like to encourage at least 200 people to give blood. We realized that the supplies in the blood bank are low, and we want to raise awareness for people to become donors, and not only for the anniversary celebrations, but to become ongoing donors, because blood has a shelf life. You can't just put in your blood and next 3 years you could go back and, or somebody could access it. Blood has a shelf life, so people have to get into regular blood donation. And we started that since last November. We did our first leg in Tobago. We did our second leg last month in the Northeast. This month, we are going to South. So we want to encourage people to come out on the 11th in Point Fortin, the 14th in San Fernando, on the 26th in Princestown for our blood drive. And then in May, we come up north, up northwest, and we will be in Diego Martin on the 11th of May, and in the Port of Spain, the Waveney Charles Blood Donation Center on the 27th.
Yes.
So a national kind of
blood drive is taking place.
Yes.
Now, in terms of the theme of the 200th anniversary celebration, is there a theme, and what's the significance of that?
Okay. So the theme we're using is historical voice, theological choice, culturally rejoice. And if you see the H, historical, holy,
Right.
T, theological, Trinity, C, cathedral, cultural. So we looked at we tried to play on the HTC of
Yes.
Holy Trinity Cathedral,
Yes.
and connect it to what we do all of the time. So it's a historical venue. We are a heritage site, a grade 1 heritage site, recognized by the National Trust for the architecture, and even not only the outside, also on the inside. The beam ceiling is the 7th, was ranked 7th in the world. So, and we have the
William Morris stained glass windows.
stained glass windows. We have Stations of the Cross done by Dr. Pat Bishop. We have a baptismal front cover done by Gillian Bishop. So historical, definitely.
Yeah.
It is a theological kind of center. So it's the mother of the Anglican Church, ordinations, consecrations, installations, everything happens at the cathedral.
What I
Well,
also-
until we were closed down.
Of course. What I also love about the cathedral, this is the one that's located opposite Woodford Square, yes?
Yes.
So it is right, you could say, in the middle of the capital city.
Correct.
And
That's
so what
right.
that speaks to is that sort of community that the
Yes.
church has,
Yes.
and the people have with the church as well.
Absolutely.
And so how is this 200th anniversary celebration going to play into that community outreach? And anyone can take this question.
Sure. Well, one of the ways that that's happening is not only through the blood drives, but through the hamper drive, because we recognize that there has been an issue, even since COVID, particularly since COVID, around people being in need, particularly of food. And so we're doing 200 hampers. We're just kind of calling people in. You can donate a whole hamper. You could donate items to the hamper. So we want to do that. In the second half of the year, we're going to begin some what we want to call bicentennial lectures, so that to just encourage. We started doing lectures last year about nation building, and so really it's to continue that thrust around nation building and the church's role in that, and our contributions to national life as well. And the fact is, just being in the middle of the city and recognizing that we have a responsibility to help with the cleanup and the development and the uplifting of Port of Spain. And so we've begun some conversations, and we've been praying about how God wants us to make a difference in Port of Spain, and in what ways, whether it be helping with the socially displaced, offering other kinds of services, but we've been actively praying and having conversations about that.
Yeah. Now, Dr. Tanya, earlier you mentioned that service that's taking place in June. Can you speak some more about that?
Sure. And so we're having a grand celebration service on June 4th, which will be Trinity Sunday this year. Our location is the Grand Stand. And we are particularly delighted. Our preacher is going to be the Archbishop of York, Archbishop Stephen Cottrell, which we are excited at hearing. He's a dynamic preacher, and all-around wonderful human. And so after the grand celebration, and so we're kind of calling all of our choristers and musicians together. We're looking for a 200-person choir and orchestra, 100 dancers, servers. It really is going to be a grand Thanksgiving celebration. And then after, we're going to have a family day, actually. So just calling everybody together. So that's why we're saying book the weekend. Gala dinner on Friday night, which we want everybody to come to at the Hyatt. And then on Sunday, we're going to spend the day together, praising God, giving thanks, and just having some good old family fun.
Yeah, I love it. Dr. Pei, I'm coming back to you because I know you're saying that, you know, the church is the mother and you're calling all the children to come back. So I want you to speak to the donation drive that you have going on now. How can people donate? How can they get in contact with the cathedral?
Okay, so the cathedral office number is 623-7271. And you can get all of the information through that number. As far as the anniversary celebrations are concerned, we have memorabilia that is on sale, and we will have tickets for the dinner and all sorts of other things. And you can call me at 620-4717. There is also a website where you can donate for the restoration, and so you could do it on the website. You can do a bank transfer. You could come into the cathedral office to make your contributions. Yeah.
Well, Dr. Pei, Dr. Tanya, let me thank you so much for coming in this morning. I really do hope that the children come home. I hope that our viewers who are looking as well are also encouraged to donate, because I understand the importance and significance of that church located in the heart of the capital city. And
to emphasize, yes, it might be an Anglican church, but we serve much more than Anglicans.
Yes. The reach is broad because of our work in education and other kinds of social enterprises. And so really anyone who has in any way been part of the Anglican community, we're calling to be with us and to celebrate. And we are firm believers that drip, drip fills buckets. So in the same way that we're calling everyone to celebrate and give thanks, we're also calling everyone to respond with their contributions, because every penny counts.
And that is where we're going to leave it for today. Ladies, thank you so much again.
Thank you for having us.
You're on the Now Morning Show. We're going to take a break. Remember to donate to the Trinity Cathedral. You're on the Now Morning Show. We're going to take a break and be right back. Stay with us.